Hello friends and fellow gamers, this week in Idle Heroes we have our Card Clash of Illusion event. Now a lot of people have been asking me this week whether they should be using their resources or whether they should be saving, and the main reason for that is we have a lot of big events coming up in the next month. And that's got people wondering whether this week is one to go and spend your money, your contract story gems, or other resources that you have in the game on this event, or maybe it's going to be next week's event, maybe it's going to be the Dragon Boat at the end of the week, or heck, even Anniversary, which is just over a month's time away. So we're going to be talking about this week's event within the context of these events that are coming up, and also pre-warning you about what to expect in the next few weeks to come, because we have had a few quiet events recently. The last month has been fairly slow in Idle Heroes, but things are about to pick up very quickly, and it means we're going to have a lot of opportunities to pick up really good rewards, and to maximize that, you will need to be using money or contract story gems. So those of you that are spenders or free-to-play players that have a lot of contract story gems saved, these events are going to be brilliant for you, but you will have to pick and choose which ones you choose to go in, because no doubt you are going to have a maximum amount of contract story gems or money that you're prepared to spend. So today's video is going to be setting up some expectations for what's to come and making sure that you guys know what things are available for you in the future. A quick tangent before we jump into today's video though. If you need one-to-one advice in Idle Heroes, join us on a Tuesday for account reviews where I help people make progress on their Idle Heroes accounts. If that's something you're interested in, join our Discord server, discord.gg/MKxJUMP. There is a link in the description. And as well, if you want to have access to account reviews on our Tuesday streams, you can consider backing me on Patreon, as that will give you access to the sign-up forum when it opens on a Tuesday. So go ahead, check out Patreon if you want to support me there and get access to that. Hopefully I'll see you guys on a Tuesday, but for now, let's go check out this week's event for Idle Heroes. This week is Card Clash of Illusion, so every day we're going to get 7 enchanted cards for logging in. This is good, it means we get 49 of them across the whole week, and my advice would be to do the enchanted cards on Thursday at the end of the week once you have all of the ones that you can get for free just by simply logging in. Now, for those of you familiar with Card Clash, you'll know you can also buy additional enchanted cards here from the value packs. They give gems and cards. You can use story gems if you want to, so this is one of the ways you can be spending your contract story gems on your accounts, and ultimately having those cards is going to get you more progress. You use cards to draw heroes here in the Card Clash, and if you get ones that match the restrain bonuses of the boss, these heroes will deal more damage. And if you draw 3, you'll get yourself a buff. We have a really good buff here, which is plus 30% team power. So hopefully you can kill the boss as effectively as possible using good cards and good combinations of buffs to use as few cards as possible against each boss. After a boss is cleared, you'll clear the stage and get yourself rewards. We have 6-star chests, heroic summon scrolls, super wishing coins, prophet orbs, and eventually, hopefully, you'll be able to get to stage 5 this week. Stage 5 will require you to buy some enchanted cards with gems, but this will be the standard way that I recommend free-to-play players, or even players just not looking to invest anything in the week ahead. This is the best way you can approach this. It's only a few gems, it's not going to break the bank, and I recommend you do this at the end of the event so that you don't just spend all your gems for 60 cards, because you might not even need 60 cards to get to stage 5. The important detail about stage 5 is it gets you a glorious treasury coin, or 5 of them anyway, and those 5 glorious treasury coins can be used here in the glorious treasury 1 to buy something nice. Typically people will go for stellar shards, resonance construction materials if they need these to get their celestial island upgraded, or if you haven't got any, you might want to get yourself some star spawn eggs so that you've got some eggs ticking over and your star spawns upgrading over time. So yeah, they're my 3 main ones I go for. Some people might go for crystals of transcendence. It's very unlikely that's the case though. Almost always stellar shards is better, because you do want 3 times as many stellar shards as you have crystals of transcendence. So typically stellar shards are always the way, and this last one here just isn't that great. It's only giving basic resources that we can get for free very easily. If you want to, you can carry on pushing in the Card Clash by using story gemish items. You can use your contract story gems to purchase more enchanted cards, and you'll hopefully be able to get up to stage 7, where you'll get an additional 5 glorious treasury coins. Now the most you can spend here is 600 contract story gems, And what's interesting about that is there is the contractual strategy. If you guys have been making progress in the Realm's Gate, which hopefully you have been as soon as you get an E5, you should be able to get 600 contract story gems if you've got to Void Corruption level 75. And those 600 contract story gems are exactly enough to buy all the cards here in the card clash. By doing that, you will get those 5 extra glorious treasury coins, which means you can enter into treasury 2 and pick yourself up an artifact. Interestingly enough, you can't get Scissors of Conviction from artifact chests or from the relic stores. So if some of you guys are really after scissors, this is one of the reliable ways to pick that up. Potentially good for those of you wanting to maximize your Star Expedition damage. However, most of you probably won't be pushing this far for artifacts. I could see why maybe a newer player might want to get themselves a Melodic Strings or maybe Rui Scepters if you're pushing for a Dragon Rui Scepter. But realistically, in my personal opinion, I actually don't think spending your contract story gems is the best move here. I think actually just grabbing the 600 for free and saving them is more important, which is why I'm going to go and skip to next week's event real quick. We actually have a Transcendence event. It's going to have this bonus called the Ultra Powerful Link, but basically Sylvie, who came out a month ago, is being made into a Transcendence hero. These events are almost always the perfect opportunity to use Heroic Summon Scrolls, gems, and contract story gems to get really, really good rewards. Whether you're free to play or a spender, there's always something for everybody. Spenders typically expect to go for $130 in the relay and pick up loads of rewards by doing that, and free-to-play players can get themselves deific artifacts, destiny materials, if they have access to contract story gems and scrolls. So those things will get you really, really good progress if you can pick them up next week, which is why I want to save our contract story gems, because whatever route you take, contract story gems will maximize your rewards in next week's event. So saving these ones from this week is important. Now, you might be in a situation where you don't even have that many contract story gems, and getting these ones isn't going to be enough to help you next week. But in 2 weeks' time after that, we'll have the Dragon Boat Festival, an opportunity to probably get even more rewards. And then after that, we'll have Anniversary in a month's time. And the Anniversary happens at the start of June. It's going to be, I think, around the 8th of June, because my birthday is the 12th, and I know that Idle Heroes' anniversary is just before my birthday. So I think it's going to be around the 8th of June that event's going to be. And Anniversary is going to be an opportunity for tons of good rewards. Some people have complained about the last 2 anniversaries we had. I will admit they weren't great, not if you were looking for rewards anyway, but it did give you lots of free stuff like Heroic Summon Scrolls. Now, the way the game has shifted in the last 12 months is Heroic Summon Scrolls have become, probably once again as they were in the original times of this game, the most important resource for making progress. If you look at events like next week's, scrolls get you prizes. It is that simple. Combine that with contract story gems, the new resource we had added when the auction house came out, then, my friends, you have a fantastic opportunity to get yourself a combination of brilliant rewards by using scrolls and contract story gems. The other thing that's changed in the last 12 months is the Glorious Treasury. This is a fantastic new reward system that they added, I think, in the summer of last year, and we didn't have that during the last 2 anniversaries. So my prediction is that the anniversary event is going to use the Glorious Treasury reward system, or the advanced version of it, right, when you get to pick all the different things in each level, similar to what we had at Christmas, New Year, Easter, right? Those reward systems have been brilliant every single time. They do not fail to deliver, and I think we're going to get something massive at anniversary that combines that reward system with the already brilliant anniversary event rewards we've seen in the past. So I expect the anniversary is going to be really, really good. Next week looks amazing, and the Dragon Boat Festival never fails to deliver. So we have 3 massive events upcoming, which are probably all going to want you to use your contract story gems. So if you're thinking about using your contract story gems this week to get a little bit of progress and get to stage 7, I don't think that is the best idea. Now, that also leads us nicely into the Awakening privileges. This is an opportunity to spend contract story gems to awaken heroes and get yourself points. About 50 awakens is needed to get to 300 points, which is when you'll start getting yourself essence sublimation. This has consistently been bad value ever since the Glorious Treasury came out, because those big events where we can use scrolls and contract story gems just eclipse the rewards that this gives. There is one slight niggle about this, which is that people do go, oh, but what if I get an A tier? And I'm like, yeah, but what if the moon explodes and the seas erupt? And, dude, A tiers are so rare, it's very unlikely you're going to get one. However, there is a new currency that recently got added, and it is this. the Radiant Soul Crystals. Now, a lot of people are going to have these burning a hole in their pocket. This right here for me is 6 free awakens. I might look at the Awakening Privilege and think, hey, 6 free awakens could get me some nice prizes. I can then destroy them for more contract story gems. That could be really good. And you're probably correct. It would get me some really nice rewards. The main reason you would want to do this is to get to 100 here so that you can get a chest to pick up a Demon Bell or an Antler's Cane. Because if you go and look at the Glorious Treasury, you'll see that you cannot actually get Demon Bell or Antler's Cane from here, and they are 2 crucial artifacts. In fact, if you deify Antler's Cane, it is one of the best damage artifacts in the game, offering 300% skill damage, and Demon Bell is essential for feeding energy to your team. And Energy Feed is a tried and true, brilliant way to play the game. So maybe you might be thinking, okay, an artifact selection chest here, I'll just get to 100 points. However, next week is going to be a Transcendence event, and if you're familiar with Transcendence events, they ask us to awaken copies of the Transcendence hero, and that is going to be Sylvie. So if you have about 10 Sylvie copies, you'll actually be able to get yourself to 60 points on that awaken by awakening those Sylvies. And what's good about that is 60 points is going to get you an artifact chest, which is way less than the 100 points for this week. So if you're sitting with some of these free awakens in your bag, let's say you have 10 of them, I think the best use you could do is save them for a Transcendence event, as you are going to be able to get a Demon Bell for much less as long as you have copies of next week's Transcendence hero, Sylvie. And given the fact that we have big events coming up as well, if you were thinking about using contract story gems in the Awakening Privilege, I cannot stress to you how much of a terrible idea that is, given the fact you'll need contract story gems to make progress in the future. Now, the card clash isn't the only way we get some rewards this week. We have the Starlight Melody. And this is nice. This is going to get you points for using enchanted cards. You get 3 points for that, and you get 7 points for awakening a hero. These points will combine, and actually, if you're just doing the enchanted cards as normal and just going ahead and getting to that first stage in the Glorious Treasury, you will still have a chance to get a lot of these chests. 100 chest here is going to get you a Transcendence copy chest, which has one of the first 6 Transcendence heroes in. You get some Spiritual Essence, you get some Stellar Shards, you get some Master's Toolboxes. Always good when this comes along. I really like it because these resources are just solid. I know Master's Toolboxes are always useful for upgrading the Celestial Island. There's also similar rewards here in the 200 chest, and again, in the 300 chest. So if you're able to get to like 300 points, that's a lot of chests you're picking up, because you get 300 chests, 1 200 chest, 1 300. That's 5 of these chests. That's not a bad amount of resources for just playing the game. So yeah, pretty nice. However, if you want to go ahead and push super far, you'll need to use 500 enchanted cards, or maybe a bit less, and do some awakens, and that will get you to 1500, which is the most points you can acquire. And that's going to get you 10 Glorious Treasury coins and a Star Transferring Cube, which is actually quite a nice thing to be in here, because the people that do push this are typically later game players. What's most important about that, though, is we have a Moonlight Gift. This is going to get you more of those enchanted cards, which then, of course, will get you progress in the card clash and help you to get that Starlight Melody increased. But actually, you'll see here, you're also getting access to multipliers that will improve your star privilege. And if you spend as much as $300, you'll get 3 times rewards here in the Starlight Melody, turning that 1500 into 9,000. 9,000 is going to get you 3 lots of this chest, which gets a deific artifact, which is phenomenal, and you're getting orange boxes and pink boxes for the treasure train. Again, ridiculously good. On top of that, you're also going to be getting 6 lots of this Glorious Treasury coin, which means 60 Glorious Treasuries, all for you. And if you go ahead and spend effectively, because you will need to spend $300, you can either pick up some Flora's Picnic packs here and then get some value packs to get lots of enchanted cards, or you could just get 2 lots of the top pack of the enchanted cards and then get a Flora's Picnic box. That's 300 there. Whatever combination you want to do of buying pretty much value packages and Flora's Picnic stuff, you want to make sure that whatever way you do it, you're going to be having enough enchanted cards so that you can go ahead and get to stage 20, which is going to be 80 Glorious Treasury coins, and you want to make sure that you're getting enough points here in the Starlight Melody that you get to 1500. So just make sure you're picking up enough enchanted cards to do that. And yeah, if you can get all the way through in the card clash and do that, you're going to walk away with 140 of the Glorious Treasury coins. 140 is enough to get tons of rewards here. You can get some stuff in Treasury 1, Treasury 2, you'll unlock Treasury 3, which is Sublimation or Core of Origin Shards if you need those. Heck, Spiritual Essence, which by the way, you will already get loads of from the Starlight Melody, because you'll be getting tons and tons and tons of 100, 200, and 300 boxes, getting you thousands and thousands of Spiritual Essence. If not millions. I don't know, how many are you picking up here? It's like 90 of this chest. Oh boy, 90 times 5. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of spiritual essence. That's why a lot of people like this event, because it does give them spiritual essence, which helps them get heroes to level 120, which means they can make more Destiny heroes. That's something more for later game players. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you're early, you do not have to worry about this. Definitely don't go spending $300. But if you are a later player, you know exactly that this is the kind of thing you might be interested in. But yeah, 140 points here is going to get you access to Treasury 5 as well, where you can pick up a lot of Destiny materials too, which is going to be really, really good. Or even Deific Artifacts. If 4 of them wasn't enough for this week, you could pick up another one there. And then Treasury 6, this is the good stuff. This is where you'll be able to buy 4 Star Souls. So realistically, if I was going to spend $300 on this week's event, it would be because I was hard looking for Star Souls. Either you want to get yourself Inquiring Mind finished, that's normally the best one to go with first. And then the Plume, that's really good as well, because that can turn people into doves and resurrect heroes. And if you really wanted to be crazy, you could get the Nova. When this is maxed, when a hero dies, they deal damage to opponents, so you can abuse that with heroes like Melissa or Azrael, who can resurrect and actually deal tons of damage to people in PvP. That's actually a legitimate PvP strategy that is being used. It's very silly. I know that my moderator, Renville, is very close to getting this thing finished, and he's going to have a lot of fun when that's the case. He's already a menace in player versus player content, so no doubt he's going to be even more disgusting to fight. Either way, this is stuff mainly for people who have many, many, many Destiny heroes, are really struggling to get more spiritual essence to improve their heroes. They probably are looking at having Nirvana on their Destiny heroes and really want to be hunting the Star Souls. If you're an earlier spender or a newer player, you probably won't be in a position where any of this makes any sense for you to pick up, and I think it's probably a waste of $300 for you guys, because by the time you reach that later stage, there's probably going to be better events. Normally things reset and events get improved after Anniversary, and that's literally a month away. So if the improvement to events happens probably around August, you'll probably find that rewards get refreshed, better things become easier to pick up, and overall, this may end up even being bad value in hindsight. Whatever way you skin the cat, I do believe that $300 is a lot of money to spend on a single event in Idle Heroes, especially when you consider the Transcendence events like this one here. Probably Dragon Boat will be the same, Anniversary might even be the same. There are $130 relays that also get you really good access to Star Souls. The key difference between this week's event and that event is that this is going to get you a lot of Prism Story Gems and Contract Story Gems, mainly from the Flora's Picnic. And more importantly, this event is going to get you access to a lot of Spiritual Essence, a resource typically difficult to pick up for players later in the game. So this might be something which is important for you guys if you are one of those later players, but I'd ignore it if you weren't. So yeah, $130 probably best used during 2 different Transcendence events, or maybe next week's event in the Dragon Boat. But if you are looking to just spend all of your money, I guess you could do all of them. But of course, guys, that's a lot of money to throw at a mobile game. But of course, I know some of you are no stranger to doing that at all. Let me know what your decision is in the comment section. So to quickly summarize, if you're a big spender and a late game player, $300 is not a terrible choice as long as you're getting maximum rewards from the Starlight Melody and pushing deep into the Glorious Treasury. Everybody else, I think, is best served just claiming from the contractual strategy here, getting your contract story gems so you can use them in future events like next week. And moreover, you probably just want to be getting to stage 5 here by using gems to buy more enchanted cards and then getting yourself an initial reward here from the Glorious Treasury that suits your progress. There is the option to bump to Treasury 2 by getting to stage 7 in the card clash. And that's probably for people that are only looking to get a Scissors of Conviction or maybe some other artifact here to help them in other game modes. Folks, this is a pretty solid event all in all. Card Clash is never a disappointment. Next week is going to be phenomenal, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you do not miss everything you need to know about next week's event. In 2 weeks' time after that, Dragon Boat, and then again, we have Anniversary. So loads of big events coming up soon, lots of stuff for you to bite your teeth into, so hit that subscribe button so you get all the breakdowns and information. And if you need one-to-one advice with your Idle Heroes account, join us on a Tuesday at twitch.tv/MKxJUMP and our Discord. You can find a link in the description below. That will be good for you if you need one-to-one advice in Idle Heroes. So that's Tuesday, 3 hours before reset. I'll see you then. With all that said, folks, as always, have an amazing week. Look after yourselves and happy idling.